Well, hello everybody. This is the first video I have ever done for the store. Jason at Electric Avenue here. Oh, how big are my hands? Um, Nothing like a crisis to get a video up, right? I just sort of wanted to give you an update as to what's been going on here since coronavirus has taken over the world. So the store's been closed to browsing for sure. Right now, we're just doing phone orders by credit card, sort of like if it was takeout pizza or something. You can pick them up at the door. I will wear gloved hands and keep adequate social distance. The other thing is I will do a delivery if you want. I'll show up at your house with gloved hands on, drop a bag on your front step, call you to confirm that the bag is there. You probably would want to remove the contents and leave the bag for later. And I think that's probably the easiest. Well, other than picking up, I think those are easy things to do. The probably the by far the easiest would be to buy something and then have it held, await to pick it up when the time is better. You can do the same thing with gift certificates. That would be a big help. Just buying one over the phone and saying, I'll be in there in another 2 months or whenever this ends to use my gift certificate or pick it up anyway. Or I can mail it. I don't really want to put it through the postal system if I don't have to, and I don't think you do either. But we did start a Discogs page. I basically spent a few days putting up close to 1,000 things there now. I've had some calls, so some people are actually finding it and looking at it. I'm going to put up a button on the Facebook page that will link to that shop so you can do that. If you want to do that and you live within 5 miles, 10 miles, whatever, consider either swinging by to pick it up or just have me deliver it. I would rather have you do that and save the money on the shipping cost and all the hassle of packing and all that stuff if we can do it in an easier fashion. And then that doesn't go through the whole postal system either. Fewer packages going through the postal system. I don't know, maybe a good idea right now. But you can see what's on there. If there's something that you want, I'll just call me and I'll handle your sale over the phone, and then we can delete that item as soon as it's out of the inventory. And so it's a place to browse. And if there's something that you don't see, feel free to send me email. I mean, the store's Gmail is Electric Avenue Music, WC for Westchester, at gmail.com. You can call 610-692-3600. I'm here most of the time during the day. I've been leaving a little bit earlier than usual just because things get a little sketchy out in the parking lot after dark with everybody gone. I don't even really like being here, but this is sort of like a warehouse in effect. It's cold. I'm wearing a coat, for gosh sakes, like, right? Anyway, you can also leave a Facebook instant message and say, hey, do you have or can you get? And I can do that. I will get to them as soon as I can. There are times when, like, I'm on the phone and then someone else calls and, I can't get to it. So consider leaving a message. Sometimes phone messages take a little longer to get back to. As far as I know, the shipping is still ongoing, but on a limited capacity. And every day it gets a little more limited. They keep talking about one of the states that we order from being sort of like more and more confined. So, if you want something, I would consider having it ordered sooner than later. So, on a personal level, I really just miss seeing all of your smiling faces in person. Um, I miss hearing the stories about your lives. I know this sounds really cheesy, but being somebody who works with the public a lot, um, I take a lot from that, and I try to give it back to other people. It's not just about buying and selling music. I mean, that in itself is of a certain level of therapy, I suppose. People have often told me they're like, you should have a tip jar for therapy session or whatever. Again, just like wearing the gloves, if I wanted to be a surgeon, I would have gone to medical school. They chafe, they're cold. Um, hand sanitize, hand sanitize. And the same thing with talking to people. I mean, there's just so much that this community shares on a local level, and that is more meaningful in some ways than just being like the guy who has records. Oh my god, did I say that? Anyway, you probably already know that Record Store Day was moved. It's not April 18th, so don't show up at my door. They moved it to June 20th. I'm not even 100% sure that's going to hold because if they have to move the Olympics, I can imagine that Record Store Day will also be moved again. The financial loss is very significant, even if it happens at a later date. I'm sure it's going to be at a much more limited capacity. I know everybody's sort of feeling like the pinch right now, so it's not like we're unique in this situation. We're obviously headed into uncharted waters here. Hopefully, we can continue doing what we do, but that remains to be seen. I don't know how many of you know, but I've been selling CDs and records for 32 years now. Ugh, just aged myself. 7 years here this month. Um, this has been more devastating than the Napster crisis, more devastating than the financial crisis of 2008. Um, it's just been an overnight devastating global loss, is what this is. And it's going to take time. I think everybody will come back once, not everybody, but I think people will come back once things are a little more safe to go outdoors and the situation is more controlled, right? Testing, testing. But it's been a tough period. I don't think anybody really saw coming, and we should all probably been prepared for it better. Um, anyway, I kind of am digressing, but I really just want to say I love and miss all of our regulars. I hope to be back on track when things get more under control. Um, I don't think any of us ever thought we'd see this in our lifetimes. This is like one of those stories that your great grandparents would say, like, "Oh, back in Spanish flu day, what Um, oh, you mean 100 years ago?" Even like I've had someone talk about the polio outbreak in the 50s and how that was pretty bad. So, um, you know, anyway, it's heavy. But I just wanted to say a little bit about us because this is my forum here. And it's my first video. So, I think many of you know that my wife Erin has not been working for about 3 years now. We worked together for several years, 17 years at Chester County Book Company. We both worked for a company called Rainbow Records out of Delaware before that for a little while. And we both worked for Sam Goody Music Land at the beginning. So we've gone through many different changes. And when the book and music store was closing, unfortunately, 7 years ago, we made a choice to start our own record store. It was something that we kind of always wanted to do, and it seemed like, well, hey, this is the opportunity. And we were both huge vinyl fans. We never really liked CDs that much. It was kind of a choice that was made by the record companies and foisted on everybody. So, um, anyway, so she came down with a condition called gastroparesis. You can Wikipedia that. It basically means a frozen stomach. Um, we don't know exactly what brought it on. We're assuming it was probably a prescription medication that was not, her system couldn't tolerate. And so that initially meant months in the hospital and lots of vomiting. Now it just means more like 24-hour nausea, difficulty eating. I mean, there's just a lot of side effects with it. So she's basically disabled or debilitated, hasn't really been able to work. We've been waiting for disability appeals for over 2 years now as it's been going through the system. This is probably going to make it take longer. So she has no income. I lost about half of my piano teaching income at that time. Some of you know I'm a pianist, and I lost more than half of my students over time. Happy because 3 of them will be at Westchester University this fall in music, as long as the university opens like it's supposed to. Anyway, it's been tough because I had to focus more on the store. I really wanted to keep that going, and that was a choice that was made. I do have a church job that is wonderful, but just it's not a lot of money. So anyway, it's kind of hard to live on just that when the store is your main income, and it's sort of in a frozen state at the moment. So it's been a tough 7 years. We've had a lot of really good people step forward to help when Erin was ill, at her most ill. People were doing random GoFundMe's for us. I mean, it just makes you see the best in people, and that there are really good people out there that still care about people. So I think we're going to see a lot more of that coming out of this, as far as everybody, the human race. I would like to think so. But you start thinking, like, how many knocks is it going to take at doing what you love to do, and what other people love coming to you for? So there's so much, I'll say it again, so much about community. We miss you guys. Having you here in the future, though, is way more important than the hit to the wallet that everybody's feeling now, and this kind of dread of being able to interact with people. So stay in and stay safe if you can. You know who you are. Pretty much everybody. Like I said, I just come here and I go home, and that's it. I'm trying not to go anyplace else because I don't want to put anybody at risk either. So I look forward to hopefully having better days ahead. I think that they're coming. Supposedly the Pearl Jam release is still on schedule for Friday, so I hope to have at least a few copies of that. But anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update to see what is going on. And I have a feeling that things are going to kind of hit a real slow period here in the next couple weeks as the news potentially gets worse. And if that's the case, please bear with us. You know, if you have things that you want or whatever, we'll try to sort of deal with a time frame or whatever. But anyway, my video's getting long. I didn't want it to be this long. Please be well. Take care of yourselves. We love you guys. It's all about the music. All right. We'll see you in a better place when all this sort of craziness comes to an end. All right. Be good. Thank you.